going to talk about 5 rock artists that if you like Morgan Wallen, you might like these artists. There'll be timestamps in the description so you can navigate through the video. And I have some other videos for other artists kind of like this too. There'll be playlists in the description as well. So Morgan Wallen is a big deal in country music. The reason I know about him, I'm not really a country music fan per se, but over the last summer, couple summers, I think, whenever there was like a big party and there's music playing, if it was coming from my phone, people would be like, hey, play Morgan Wallen. And I'm like, I don't know Morgan Wallen. At first I thought it was a chick, to be honest. And then I was like, oh, this is a country dude. So I did do a deep dive recently, listened to a whole lot of his stuff. And as I was listening to it, I was really trying to pick up what is it about him that I could maybe think of 5 rock artists that give me some kind of vibe. So talk about those 5 and what I think make them something that if you like him, there's something about each of these that you might like. George Thorogood, often accompanied with the Delaware Destroyers, sometimes just known as the Destroyers, but they are from Delaware. And I noticed in Morgan Wallen, a lot of these songs are about drinking. Very, very, very many of them were about drinking. And if you're going to talk about drinking and songs, George Thorogood is the king of rock and roll drinking songs. He's got songs like One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer. Songs like If You Don't Start Drinking, I'm Gonna Leave. I Drink Alone. I mean, do I need to say any more? I don't. There is a little bit of a rockabilly blues, musically probably goes with people who are country music fans too. George Thorogood is most famously known for the Bad to the Bone, but I mean, that's like his least Bad to the Bone song. His drinking songs, I mean, the Irish people probably have something they do with him for a holiday, like how we have St. Patrick. I bet for drinking they have St. Thorogood. I would not be surprised. Kiss. Another Morgan Wallen staple is that he sings about girls very, very much. And if you want to have rock songs about chicks, being into chicks, I mean, Kiss, there's a lot of bands, but really Kiss is the best. You can look at bands like Motley Crue, but Morgan Wallen is a country man. He's a gentleman, I believe, country boy. He probably goes, to work on time. Motley Crue ain't showing up on time. Gene Simmons, if he's getting paid, he is there on time. So that's another, it fits better with the Kiss. They got songs like, Meet Me in the Ladies' Room, Love Gun, Mr. Speed. So if you want to hear songs about chicks and how much you're into those chicks and how awesome they are, go check out some Kiss songs. LinkinPark. So another thing I noticed musically about a lot of Morgan Wallen songs are there's often a rock and hip hop, almost like rapping. Sometimes he does. And there's a lot of bands that can mix that kind of style. LinkinPark is just one, but I felt like it fit really well listening to them. I felt like when I heard him do the rapping things, it didn't really sonically or how he did it think like LinkinPark, but I just got a feeling that if you like that kind of stuff and you want to hear it in more of a rock setting, that's a band that you might want to check out. They have a new singer. Unfortunately, they have 2 singers, I guess, in the band, but their main vocalist that was known for mostly, Chester, had passed away a number of years ago. But the band's kind of back together now. They have a new singer, a woman. I don't know her name. I'm sorry. But she sounds really cool. It's not a mimic or a copy of him. There are sometimes bands get singers and you wouldn't know if you just listen, like, oh, that's the same person. No, it's not. It's a whole different person. So it's not just because she's a chick. She screams really good. She sounds awesome. She just doesn't sound just like him, but she fits the songs cool. So it's a good time to check out LinkinPark. JohnMellencamp, also known at times as John Cougar Mellencamp. So check it out. I bet Morgan Wallen's from a small town. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in a pink house when he grew up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's seen Rain on a Scarecrow. Those are all John Mellencamp songs, by the way. So, I think it fits just already right there, you can tell. John Mellencamp is a very folky rock artist. He sings a lot of songs that country artists would sing. He's the Travis Tritt, so to speak, maybe, of rock and roll. I think might be a good way to describe him. So he's got great songs, and if you like anything about really any country music artist, then I think John Cougar Mellencamp is a pretty awesome person to check out if you're not familiar with his stuff. Most of his hits are from like the 70s, 80s era, but he's got a whole list of them. And again, they're all about stuff that country music people sing about too. Days of the New. This is a really cool band that was a heavy rock band, but they were acoustic. It was all acoustic instruments, which was unique about it. And Morgan Wallen stuff, a lot of his stuff is acoustic. And Days of the New had this heavier grunge sound. If you take any of the grunge music from like the 90s, early 2000s, you think of like the Pearl Jams, you think of like the Soundgardens. but if you're familiar with that, but you make it acoustic, all acoustic. Something about it being acoustic, but being, heavier in rock, I think some Morgan Wallen fans would like, especially with as much acoustic guitar. It's pretty heavily featured in a lot of his songs. And this is a really cool band that was popular at the time, but kind of fell off and isn't as well known today.